What's up guys, I have a 2002 IS300 and today I'm going to show you how I'm going to change the ballast on my driver's side headlight that went out. Now before you do this, you want to make sure that you actually have a bad headlight. So I was driving and KB Moms, my wife, told me that my light was out, so I thought at first that I just needed a new headlight. So what I did was I swapped the bulbs, and the bulb was still good on the passenger side. So next step is to change the ballast. So I got a new ballast, and now I'm obviously working on putting that new one I got in. And to get this off, what I had to do is first, over here, there's two screws right there and there that you have to take off from the headlight, which translates to these two screws right there. So after you take those two off, there's one right here. I took that one off, and it seems like you'll be able to get the light out after that, but you won't be able to because of this evil clip. So what I did was wedged this screwdriver pop-off type tool I have down in there and pushed these down, and then was able to pull the light out at the same time. Then after I popped it off of here, I believe there's 6 connectors you have to undo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those all came off. Then after you get the light off, you'll see this. So then you need to unscrew this and it'll pop off. And then this is the ballast connector. So you just turn this the opposite direction of lock, and it pops right off, and there's your headlight bulb right there. You can see the springs that hold the light in, but this light should be fine. But these springs come off and come down, and that's how you take out the light right here. When you do that, you don't want to touch the light though. So I'm going to put these springs back on. Make sure you're wearing gloves too when you're changing the light. That'll help you make sure you don't get any oil on the light. So here's the ballast connector. Now here's the bottom of the headlight. And you can see this is where the ballast is. So there's 4 Phillips head screws here. You can take these off. And then here's the ballast. So now I'm going to unscrew these screws so I can get the ballast out. Here's the replacement ballast I have right here. I just got a used one on eBay because I don't know how much longer I'll have this car, and this should be fine. So from the looks of it, I need to take off these 3 screws. So I'll be doing that right now. Alright, so once you take off the screws, you'll see that there's a connector here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. So I've got it disconnected now, but you'll notice after you do that, that this won't fit down in there. So there's a screw right here that'll move this forward so this can slide down in there. So I've already turned this 16 times counterclockwise, and now it's going to fit down in there. Oh, looks like 16 wasn't enough, so I'm going to do it a few more times. See if 19's enough. There we go. And also you'll see there's a little dot at the top, and basically it lines up with the dot right there, so that's how I knew how many times I was doing it. So I did it 19 times. So here's what I think is my broken ballast. Here's what is hopefully a working one. The cord is a tiny bit longer. So I'm gonna feed it through here. Plug it in. And if you're curious, here's the part number I have. There are different part numbers, but they're all supposed to be the same. Just double check though when you get yours for your car. Put the gasket in place. Put this back on. I'm gonna hand tighten them. Don't want to over tighten it. That feels good. The cover back on. I do have the gasket in place with the groove and the gasket facing up. So it worked with this lip right here. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back 19 times. Alright, so I've put that back to how it was by screwing it in 19 times. I'm going to put this back on. See, it just wiggles on there. It has arrows actually when you're putting it back on. Then you just lock it back in. The gasket in place. Lock this back. So there we go. We've replaced the ballast. So now I'm just gonna put everything back in how it was. And before I clip it all the way back in, I'm gonna make sure that everything works. Because it's not easy to do that evil clip like I mentioned earlier. Alright, we should be connected. Let's see if we have light. We've got light. Awesome. Looking good. Actually, I'm going to check everything. Blinker is good. High beam check. Yep. Alright, so everything looks good. Let's lock it back in and finish this up. Alright, so I popped the headlight in, so let's screw it back in. The screw is here. These are the two nuts you use for behind the headlight. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so I've got these screws on the back of the headlight in. Pop these back in. Alright guys, so mission complete. Here's the old part number if you wanted to get the exact one for your 2002 IS300. Got everything put back together. Just to note, I did not take off my bumper completely. I just loosened or took off basically the right side of it. I didn't have to undo any of the pins under the front of the car. Taking off these pieces, loosening the grill, taking this off here and this one off, and basically undoing the bumper right here was good enough. I was able to get the headlight out. Didn't really mess up the paint, although my paint's not perfect to begin with. The tools I needed or used was one of these tools. You could probably still do it with the flathead screwdriver. I used a Phillips head. This is what I used, an 8mm to actually move the lens element inside the headlight forward and backwards. So this is an 8mm, and then otherwise I only needed a 10mm. So you'll need an 8mm, a 10mm, a flat head or one of these, and a Phillips head, and you should be able to completely change your ballast. But thank you guys for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and have a great day.